Hello, everyone. This is Polly Birdsong. I'm in discussion group 2, and this is week 2's discussion. Our topic this week is nursing theory, and we were asked to share a real life story where we used theory, um, or could have used theory, for support. And the second part of that question was, did it have anything to do with informatics competency? So my story is from a facility I worked at in North Carolina. It was part of a 9-hospital system. The system chose to replace the entire EMR in all 9 facilities. They went about doing this in 3 phases. I was the director of surgical services in one of the facilities. The model that I have found most useful in change is Lewin's frozen thaw refrozen. That just has worked best for me in the past, and the staff at the facility's mean age was greater than 45. Most all the nurses there had only worked at one facility, so the exposure to change was limited just within that facility. And by being brought into a larger system, they had started experiencing those things, which I'm sure most all of you can relate to that are part of being within a system, a larger system. So we started on this journey. I started with a staff meeting that I made mandatory for all people to attend because I feel like it's very important for all people to hear the same information at the same time, so that it doesn't get misconstrued. That when Betty tells Sally, she doesn't put her Betty slant on it. It's better that they just all hear the information all at the same time. And I told him that we were expected to implement the computer charting system, and there was we were not given a choice in this. This was the documentation system that we were going to use, and so I told them that they could have about the next 10 minutes to vent all of any frustration that they had with this change. Let's just vent it. And so I gave them about 10 minutes, and everybody did. They vented a lot. And I should say not everyone vented, because I had a few younger nurses that were very computer in-depth. They had worked at other facilities or other departments where computerized charting had been mandated for for a while. And so there was just so they really kind of looked forward to it because they found the 4 pages of paper charting just ridiculous. So then I told them that there is a positive side to this, that we would be in phase 3 of the go live, and that gave us 24 months to help build our particular piece of the EMR, to give our input, to do lots of training, and to try to make this as positive and as smooth a transition as humanly possible. So we went on this journey. We organized, we developed teams. We developed teams to attend meetings that were part of the build. To the administration of the systems, kudos to them, because they allowed 2 members from every OR to be part of a build team, where the nurses that actually used the charting system went all and sat in a room and looked at every screen and gave input as to if the design was good, choices, were there too many choices, were there not enough choices, with the drop-down box, what could be drop-down box that you could just select from, what would be free text, you know, so those types of things, what it would look like. And then we had teams that were in-house that didn't travel to these meetings, that made sure our preference cards were all up to date, that they we worked in cooperation with materials management, and got supply coding numbers that were going to be used within the system, so that when the system went live and our preference cards had been loaded on the front side, that then we only had to chart really those exceptions, whether it was an exception of an item being removed, not used on the case, or added to the case, where the basic charge and supply consumption of the case was automatically charted because it was transported from the preference card. And I stressed to everyone in that initial meeting that this computer would give us exactly what we put into it. Computers are our input. We input into them and we receive things back from them. And so, I said, if we don't spend any time and dedicate and work hard in this 24 months we've been given, then, we're probably not going to be satisfied with the product when someone else makes the decision or enters the information that doesn't understand the process and it doesn't have the correct information in it. So I really, really challenged them to kind of shed the negativity that they felt by being forced to make a change, and not be afraid of that change, but actually engage with it, and let's make this a good change. Now, through the process of attending meetings and building cards and all of these things in training, I had asked that we be able to attend some of even the first go live classes, so that the OR nurses, because they're not always exposed to some of the other charting within the system, get a taste for that, what that's like. Because while it's different, it's similar to what they were going to be expected to do, so it gave them that time to kind of wrap their mind around that change and try to focus on what is positive, what's going to work well, and what things maybe are going to upset our process flow, and so forward think, and what can we do about that. So all things said, we went live, and it wasn't without mishap, but it went very smooth. I am proud to say that the group that I was in charge of had a smoother go live than most all the other groups, because they dedicated time and energy to the project. They tried to open up their minds, although some days when we first went live, their minds were pretty closed. They're like, just give me a piece of paper to write on. So, but I found that helping this group through that process, and really, it was that theory that you had to get them to kind of unthink their concept that they had, their preconceived concept that they had, and get them to open up and embrace a change and involve them in that change. And then at the end, they felt ownership of that end product. And the first year was rocky, but they're using it today, and they're 2.5, 3 years into it, and don't know how they ever charted without the EMR. So it has been a very positive change, and I feel like this example fit along with what had been asked. I hope that everyone else does. And thank you so much for your time.